Mr. Beast, Dave Ramsey, Sean Cannell, and you? What do all four of these people have in common? Well, all four of them, including you, by the way, are a content creator. And if you're a youth pastor, you are in the content creation business, and maybe not yet creating online content, but you have the skill set necessary, because we right now are in a playlist linked right here at the top of the screen where we are talking about YouTube for Youth ministry. And if you've done the things that we've talked about in this playlist so far, while you start pre-recording your messages and you start scoping them out ahead of time and you start with the idea of posting them to YouTube, which, by the way, right now I'm offering a very limited time free editing offer. So if you pre-film your messages and you want to send them to me once you get to the whole kind of editing part, which tends to be what trips people up on YouTube, I would be happy to do that. Click the link down below in the show notes and reach out and let me know and inquire if those spaces are still available. But you know, content is one thing, right? Like creating the content, shooting the content, even posting the content, right? But when you post it, there are actually some pretty incredibly important things that you need to make sure that you are doing, and we're going to talk through all of those things today in this video, where we are talking about your titling, your tags, your description, the links that you include in your description, how to make chapters, thumbnails, cards, and end screens. I know it seems overwhelming, but let's hang out and let's dive into that today. So if you head on over to YouTube once you've created an account and you click create and you click upload video, you will get a screen just like this, and you will click select file and then you will begin uploading it. And once it begins to upload on YouTube, it will look like this. So this is from episode 93 on video editing, and so I've already inputted all the details, but if you are watching on YouTube right now, you'll see this. If you're on a podcast catcher, head to the link in the show notes and scrub ahead to this section, but you will see right up here at the top your title. Now, this is what most people do in churches. This is certainly what we did in church, especially when we started in the middle of the pandemic. We had a show. It was called Unscripted, and we would have them classified by seasons, which I thought was pretty cool and pretty innovative. So we would say like Unscripted Season 2, Episode 4. Which was great for us as far as indexing and titling and categorizing. However, think about this. If we had a lesson on Unscripted that week, and Unscripted was every single thing in the show, so that included like the game and the worship and all the things, but like if we had a message on suffering, let's say, like it would just say Season 2, Episode 4. There was no titling there that, you know, indicated what the actual topic was of the message. So your title, just like your thumbnail, both are really important as far as communicating to your audience what your video is going to be talking about. And so if you're a church, a lot of times we do this in churches. We're in the middle of like a series, and we're like David series sermon 3, right? Which, like, that's great. And you can actually on YouTube really easily include your series into a thing called a playlist. And so they can all be included. David, you know, can be included into a playlist, but talk about what you're talking about, you know? So if you're talking about David and Bathsheba, maybe your title is like coming back from giant mistakes, or leaning into God's grace, right? And I'm going to talk to you in just a minute about ways that you can figure out the best words and the ways to title these things. But very simply, if you make the small shift from just creating it for your church people, where you're explaining like David, you know, message 3, and instead shifting it to like what the actual topic is, like that is going to be one major and massive shift. And in my completely free ebook, which is linked right here on screen, with a little bit of a rebrand, new title, we are now switching the name. If you've already downloaded it, still the same content, I just changed the title to the Complete Hybrid Strategy Guide, and we actually talk to you in this ebook in detail for you how to start pre-filming filming your messages and how to get going on YouTube. So maybe you've been watching this playlist, but if you download this ebook, it will be kind of your step-by-step guide to starting to create content on YouTube. Once you get past your titling, there's another really important part, and it's all the way down here at the bottom. It's past your little description box, it's past your thumbnail thing, it's past your playlist selector, and it's in this area here called tags. Okay, now you'll see right here on mine, I have these little like ranking things, and that's from a service called VIDIQ, which link down below is a VIDIQ link if you're interested in grabbing that for a free trial or for a period of time. But this will help rank what some of your tags are. So if you are talking about David and Bathsheba, you might write in David, and you might write in overcoming sin, and you might write in God's restorative grace. And just these tags, these are ways in which people that search for things on YouTube, because remember, YouTube is owned by Google, and so people are going to YouTube and they are searching things like they would on Google. For example, how do I come back from a massive mistake that I've made? And maybe your video on David will actually help communicate that. Or maybe someone's looking for some research on David and they're saying, hey, I want to know, like, when were David and Bathsheba, like, you know, what year did David and Bathsheba take place or something like that? I don't know. But just begin to think like the people that are searching on YouTube. And so you may answer certain things like, you know, how to overcome sin, but you may also answer David and Bathsheba, you know, whatever year it was or something like that. And so you can put some of those things in, and this little plugin here is from VidIQ. And so I have that plugged in right here at the top. Watches some of my stats and gives me kind of some analytic type stuff, and so it also can give me you know, some suggestions for tags and stuff like that. And so if you are interested in that, something like that, you can get that for a pretty minimal fee, and also a trial to go ahead and get the ball rolling on that. You should definitely check that out. But tags are pretty important, and you'll see that it has 500 potential characters. So whatever you do, try your hardest to get your tags filled all the way out to as close to 500 tags as possible. After that, I want to talk here for just a minute about the description section. So the description section, this is where I include a lot of like relevant links. And so if you're watching on YouTube and you're watching my video right here, this is my, you know, hey, I'm offering free editing right now. So click that link. And since that's one of my main kind of call to actions out of this message or out of this video, like I want you to click that. I'm putting it right up at the top. I also have my strategy guide right here, and you can also grab that as well. Then right here, this is like just a description. So just think like a little mini, you know, paragraph, 2 paragraphs, 3 paragraphs kind of blog post. So same kind of idea as the tags, but this one is you're typing it out. You're typing it out for the audience that may find it, because YouTube and the algorithm, they're always crawling every single piece of text and every single piece of content from the video. So all the captions that you have, all the words that you say, all the things you write, all the tags you have, all the title that you have, all those things go into account as people are searching and looking for different videos on YouTube. And so just fill this thing out, and I'll show you an example. If you are watching on YouTube, you can see me navigating over to it live time right now. But our student ministry YouTube account, and you'll see that we have every single one. We have a next step. So this just takes us to, we use Church Community Builder. So this is our digital next step card that's included in every single description. And we have a thing called digital notes, which students can use to follow along both live in the room and also here on YouTube. And so this is free, a free service from the YouVersion Bible app. It's just a way to continually make things more hybrid in your space. And so look, we're talking about David this week as well on this episode. And so this is just an example of a couple of links that you can include. And I like to try to include every single next step, every single link into the digital notes. And so, you know, right here, it says ready to surrender control. Let us know by taking a next step. This is the exact same link as the one I just showed you, right? It takes it out to that next steps form as well. And so this is like our final last step. And so in my sort of like ultimate strategy guide, I'm posting fun shorts that people will find us. I'm posting spiritual shorts so that people will be inspired, that then push to our long form content. So then they go watch a long form version of our video, and then that drives them to a next step, and then they take a next step here, and that's how we capture and gather their information. That's how it is in a pie in the sky type of world. It doesn't always work that way. You know that as a youth pastor as well. But this is how I can reconcile and say, like, this is why we post fun content. This is why we post short inspirational shorts, because we're driving to this long form version of our video, which is then driving toward a next step, which allows us to capture information from students, gather their info and follow up with them, and ultimately disciple them, right? And so that description place is also where you can include the links, like, digital notes. If you want to do that, feel free to borrow that, steal that, use that in your own space, or a next steps form, or whatever the case might be. If you are not, if you're not a youth pastor and you're also just looking to post videos on YouTube, that would be where you might post things like affiliate links and whatever. And so you'll see that from me as well. Like, right here, these are my show notes. And so these are different things like, this takes you to the show notes on my podcast page. This is, we talked about CapCut, DaVinci Resolve, Adobe Premiere Pro, Final Cut Pro, some other links about growing as an editor, tutorials, limited time offer. Here's all my socials. Here's some other freebies. Here's some affiliate links. So all that stuff is kind of chock full in there. But then this is another really important thing. This is a really key thing to do, I think, when you're posting videos to YouTube, is create chapter and time codes. And all you got to do is just add them right here in the description. If you're watching live on YouTube, you can see that. And I just go back through the video and I watch it manually, and I type out when I started talking about each of these things. And if you are watching on YouTube, you'll see down below, I'm also now starting to highlight that on screen with some text, right? So that whenever anyone's watching, they can scrub ahead and see what I'm actually talking about in each section of the video. Because I don't know about you, but there's sometimes where I don't want all the fluff at the beginning. I just want the direct answer. So YouTube helps index this better when you include chapters. And just by putting them in there, YouTube will auto break that up, and it will create chapters and create divisions within your video for the people in your space that are watching it. Beyond chapters, the other thing that is really important, probably just as important, I would say, as the title, is your thumbnail. And so your thumbnail is very simply your like first impression, right, of what's going on. And so a lot of experts say you want anywhere from 2 to 6 words on the thumbnail, as little as possible, because think about if someone's scrolling through on their phone, they're just getting a small image of it. So you want it to be enough to incite curiosity that will cause someone to click on it and then get started on your video. And so rather than David and Bathsheba, week 3 of the David series, your church name and your, date that you preached it or whatever, like, just simply post like, returning to God, something like that, right? And you can put like a screenshot of yourself or a screenshot of whoever is speaking, and do some graphic editing with that. You can use things like Adobe Photoshop. You can use things like Canva. Links to those all down in the description of this podcast episode. But you can use some of those things so that you can create a good first impression. Couple other kind of like next level sections, and you'll see here, here's my VIDIQ optimized score. There are a couple of things here that I have not, they don't think my title is very easy to understand. But one of the things that can help increase your score is adding things like cards. And so you get 1 card per playlist. And if you're watching this video, I did it right at the very top where I said we're in a playlist called YouTube for Youth Ministry. In this video, I did it as well. I did it at 45 seconds. And so I'm just highlighting like, hey, you're in the middle of a playlist. If you want to go back to the beginning, catch up, or you may reference another video from another time. Maybe somebody doesn't want this video that you're talking about, but you can help point them out to another type of thing that they may be interested in. It'll show up on screen similar to something like this. Someone can click on it while they're on YouTube and take them to another video on YouTube. Sean Cannell has a 10 commandments for YouTube, and one of the things is keep people on YouTube's platform as long as possible. At least that's YouTube's goal, right? And so all of these things help help you rank better. So that's an example of a card. You get one of those per video, and when you're pre-filming, you can write that in. And if you're using a teleprompter, like we had talked about in a previous episode, link to a teleprompter down below in the show notes, grab that. But you can write that in so that you make sure that you include the card in your video, but you can, kind of point to it. And here's like a little hack. Like if you are filming direct to camera, if you point with your left finger, it'll pop up right here on top of your screen. A lot of times I'll add a sound effect and maybe like the thumbnail of the playlist or the video I'm talking about and pop it right in right when my finger comes in, and I'll also have it come across right above it as well. That's just a little editing thing. And again, if you're interested in editing, reach out to me down below in the show notes. But finally, the last piece, and also, by the way, hey, listen, here's the thing. Maybe you don't have a budget for editing and you're like, I want to do this, and I'm going to learn editing, but like, I need someone to help me walk through this. Like I'm also offering some coaching right now at a smaller rate. 4 sessions of coaching, just a few bucks. If that's something that you're interested in, I can help you go from wherever you are and start making progress on your hybrid strategy today. And then the final piece that you want to include is your end screens. And it's the same concept as the card, where you want to keep people on the YouTube platform as long as possible. You'll notice on this video here, I included 4 different end screens. I have and this is a little hack. I often dovetail onto the next video on my playlist, but this is the most recent video I've uploaded. And so right now, I don't actually have the next video on my playlist all the way edited and all the way uploaded to YouTube. And so right here, this is just a placeholder. Once I upload video 94, this is video 93. Once I upload video 94, I'll go back into here and I'll replace this video right here, which is called video, which is best for viewer. That's YouTube's algorithm doing its thing. And I'll add video 94. Now you might be thinking, Nick, if I post it and I say the next video is on the screen and it's not uploaded yet, won't that be a problem? And yes, for that like 1 week or so, it won't be there, okay? But from that moment on, once you upload or the second video on the playlist goes live, it will live there on for the rest of eternity and time. And so one of the things we got to start getting used to as youth pastors and people using the internet is that YouTube will live on in perpetuity forever as long as you keep it up there. And so while the people that watch your video now for your church, maybe in the series with David and Bathsheba, when you move on to the next section of the playlist and you're talking about David at the end of his life, and that's video number 4, if people discover this a year down the road, 2 years down the road, 10 years down the road, they will have access to that next video, and you can serve the people on YouTube forever. And that's one of the beautiful things about you and I as youth pastors becoming content creators, is that we can effectively reach more people than just the people in our direct physical care. And that's one of the reasons I think going hybrid as at least one of the other benefits, and I don't even think it should be the main or primary benefit of what we're doing, but it is at least something that we can use and utilize to our advantage. I also oftentimes include the playlist on here and a subscribe thing as well. And so you can add those to the end of your video as well. You can create a little ender screen like I do, which has like little placeholders, and you just pop the video right in there. You can use something like emotionarray.com to find a thing like that. Speaking of end screens, you will see right here on screen, if you're watching on YouTube, our next video, which is the importance of playlists and courses. And so we're going to talk in depth about those, how to utilize them, and the advantage that you and I as youth pastors have, and how playlists are the perfect solution for us in our churches, in our youth ministries. So go ahead and check that video out, and don't forget, and as always, to stay hybrid.